Hola amigos and welcome back to Super Amigo Squad with your fearless leader Rio. Now, it has been a while since I've done a Rio's Rant, so here we go. Like I said, vlogs are now going to be coming weekly, which is going to be, or bi-weekly actually, twice a week. There's going to be 1, 2. Considering there's a lot of things I have to rant about, I talk a lot on a daily basis, and I don't know why I haven't been getting these done. I know that, if you go to my announcements video, I will totally put a link for that. If you go to that video, you will definitely see that I said I spend a lot of time on production value and crap like that. Like, I will go through the trouble of waiting to use Foxy's camera and stuff like that. And I should just, it's a vlog. I think I should be able to do at least some of them on my own. I will be having a new camera soon, so, or at least the quality of the videos will definitely be going up. So, without any further ado, today's topic to rant about. I watch a lot of shows. I watch a lot of cartoons, animes. I'm a huge nerd. If this hasn't already been covered. Today we're going to talk about one of my favorite, most unappreciated shows. Now, a lot of y'all have seen, if anything, some of y'all have seen Ben 10. This is not about Ben 10. Man of Action Comics, Ben 10 has, at the point now where they have a reboot. Like, who ends a series? Like, at first I was just like, Ben 10, and then Alien Force, and then Ultimate Alien, and I was just like, I like that darkness that Alien Force and Ultimate Alien had, and then they gave you Omniverse, and I was just like, maybe not. And then, the further you got into Omniverse, I was like, oh, it's all coming back around. It's all coming back around. It's just changed the art style, tried to give you the humor of him, not taking his life seriously once again, like he always does. And then they're hitting you with the hard plots. You saw things coming back from, the original series. And it's good to see things loop around like that. Then you were just like, it's done. It's done. Our babies can rest. And then they were like, reboot! I could not handle it. I have not even watched it. I am so in protest of it that I can't even look at it without becoming furious. Because another show made by Man of Action Comics, Generator Rex, is one of the most beautiful shows that went unappreciated. And they even had a crossover episode with Ben 10. And, Ben 10 even crossed over with, Secret Saturdays. But that's what I'm saying is, I like when they do that kind of connections and stuff. But that just tells you right there is they made a crossover episode with Ben 10. They showed it. Everyone I've shown Generator X to are oh, you haven't heard of it? Now we're watching it because there's no reason why you shouldn't know about this show. Because it had... Whereas a lot of people, started around the time of Alien Force and Ultimate Alien, so it carried that darkness that you wanted. It was okay, for all of you Voltron fans out there, I am a huge fan of the Voltron series. I'm a huge fan of the original series, and I like what they're doing with the, sorry, my cowlicks are sticking up. I like what they're doing with the series now on Netflix. I love it. I love it. Speaking of Netflix, I'm a writer, so hire me. Joking aside, half joking aside, I love what they're doing with Netflix currently. I love what they're doing with Voltron on Netflix currently. Back to what I was saying. Cowlicks. Sorry about that, guys. I tried to make sure my hair wasn't a mess for y'all, but now it's not even listening. It's that, Texas humidity. Anywho, what I was saying is Generator Rex, beautiful show. And what I was just talking about with Voltron, the character Lance, I am pretty sure that Lance's current persona, there is so much correlation to the Lance's current character to the main character of Generator Rex, which is the main character Generator Rex is Rex Salazar. There is so much correlation. I'm pretty sure that they are the same person in a parallel universe. And like, amazing guy, hilarious, thinks he's amazing, knows he's amazing, total cinnamon roll that you love, bisexual Latino, gorgeous characters. I mean, like, seriously, they're basically the same person. Now the premise of the show, let me start by explaining that if you don't know, as to why my frustration is they started this Ben 10 reboot, and the rest of us are over here like, where's the Generator X reboot? Where's the next series that you could have been doing? Why do you do this to us? Why? Because it's milking the cash cow, but you know, I don't want to say that insult-wise. I'm just saying there was a chance, and we lost it. We lost it, friends. We lost it. Is Generator X, premise of the show. Back to that. Sorry, I get so heated I sometimes forget my topic. The premise of the show is that scientists were working on a way to build machines, cure diseases, all sorts of stuff like that. So we're working on these little machines called nanites, basically like nanocells. They're little tiny machines that they were going to be like, they're going to do everything for us. They're going to make life so much better. But then someone got greedy. Multiple someones got greedy. And there was a huge fight, and then there was a big explosion known as the nanite event. So now nanites inhabit all living matter, whether it be people or creatures or anything. Like, all living matter. Plants, too. And the nanites will, supercharged nanites will cause mutations and turn people into monsters and such like that. The main character, Rex, starts off with the series with amnesia. Like, he works for a Providence, which is basically a secret agent, a not-so-secret agency that is tasked with, they have three standards. It's cure, contain, or kill. And those are how they handle Evos, which is what they call these mutated people. Now, no one is like an Evo by choice. It just happens. Like, and anybody could go at any time, and it's not fair. And, like, people were just like, kill them right off the bat. But, you know, that's panic. And then Rex came along, when he was found, and he can cure them. So now they're like, there's a third option, because it was just immediately, like, kill or contain. We can't do. But, like, when they contained them, they still ended up killed. It was a horrible thing. Because, like, it was, I think that Generator Rex, like, hit on a lot of topics, with the same things that you notice between, like, the reference between, in X-Men that you notice, between mutants and humans. It's, like, racism kind of thing. They hate them. And they're not all Evos are not in control. It just depends. So Rex comes along, he can cure them, he's doing the best he can, and he expects Providence to help him discover his past. And then there is Agent 6, as he calls his nanny, just more aggro. Agent 6 is called 6 because he is the 6th most deadliest person in the world, which begs the question of who else is on that list. And then he is one of the agents. He works for Providence because he's trying to make a difference in the world. And finding Rex was actually a changing moment for him, which is a good thing. And then there's Dr. Holiday, the one who didn't start off in charge, but ends up in charge of their research and stuff. She takes care of Rex as much as she can, and Rex has like a crush on her continuously throughout. He like hits on her constantly, but he's like 16-year-old boy, and she's just like, yeah, whatever. And she has like the biggest thing, and it does not hide it for 6. Like right off the bat, she wants that man. And then his sidekick, or don't call him a sidekick, is a talking chimpanzee. He's also an Evo. And then he meets his best friend Noah, which is just a normal person. But, like, you know, there's lots of different stuff. What I really like is, the show covers a lot of topics of exploitations, abuse, Like, it covers such a wide spectrum, and it's got some great writing. There are times when you're just like, that's hilarious, and it's just like straight up funny, and they're messing with Rex and stuff like that. And then there are other moments where it's heartbreaking, and you're like, no, I don't want to watch this. Why are you doing this to me? And then there are moments like the episodes with Breach. Breach is one of the Evos who works for Van Kleist, which is labeled as the #1 villain in the series. Van Kleist he was at the Nanite event, and he knows stuff about Rex's past, but he doesn't want to tell him because, he was like, oh, if you join me, I'll tell you. And then he's just like, no, you're kind of creepy, and you want my body in more ways than one, so no thanks. And he just straight up is like, no. And he's just like, man, I guess you'll never learn about your past. And so, like, anytime there's a chance that something's going to show up and reveal the past to Rex, Van Kleist has to just immediately be like, no, kill it first. Yeah, so he does pretty well. Like, he literally, like, they don't hesitate with that show. Like, at the beginning, when he's talking, like, they introduce Van Kleist at the beginning, and they're, like, in Van Kleist's home, Abyssus, which is actually where the Nanite event occurred. And Six comes in to rescue Rex, and Rex makes a joke about, oh, I'm surprised you didn't send a whole fleet to save me. And then they're running past a clearing, and he goes, we did. And there it shows, like, crashed ships and, like, bodies everywhere. And they're all dead. It's like 40 people. They're all dead. And it's like, it doesn't hesitate to show you, like, the scope of what they're dealing with. And they deal with, like, stuff like this all the time. And there are some freaky episodes. Like I said, back to Breach. Breach is honestly my favorite character, other than Rex himself. Breach is my favorite character in the entire series. As far as villains go, she is the one who has dealt with the most abuse. She works for Van Kleist. Breach, forearm, adorable girl. I mean, when you see her at first, you're just like, she's kind of weird. She creeps me out. Like, one of her first episodes that's about her, she opens portals and stuff, and she can travel through space, which is, like, one of my running theories, because when they introduce the meta-nanites later on, there is one for each basic thing. There's technology, space and time, and stuff like that. Well, Rex's ability is he can make machines out of his body for, like, no reason, so I already figured out he had technology and stuff like that, but for space and time, they never tell you where they found space and time, so I'm like 100% on the train that they took it from Breach. Like, that was my whole theory on it. But, Breach was a character that, when they introduced it, they just made her, they started off with a very much unassuming, she's Van Kleist's lackey, she's loyal to Van Kleist, she's crazy as shit, because she gets caught, and they're like, where's Rex? And she has her in a little pocket dimension where she keeps all the shit that she likes. And she's, like, refusing to give him up because she likes him, which is pretty bad. And then, like, when you get further into the series, you kind of see, like, oh, because that's the standard of what she's dealt with. Like, that's the only thing she knows how to do is if he's in there, he's safe from all of the shit, which is terrible. And, like, the third episode they introduced Cersei, which, as a love interest, I hate her. She was so back and forth, her morals were so flexible, and she was very much the you don't understand character, and it's like, there is no one who understands more than Rex. He is literally an Evo too, and, like, joining Van Kleist does not help your case here. I mean, he does a lot of evil shit, and you're like, it's for our cause, and I'm like, it's one of those things that it was like, you can't be upset when it doesn't go your way and then say it's okay when it's for your benefit. Life doesn't work that way. And, like, morally, I was just like, yeah, I was screaming for a long time, cut her loose, break up with her. And then they finally had an episode where they was like closure, and I was like, yes, close their relationship. We knew it's been over. It's been over for a long time. Finally. And because he would try to go out with other girls, like, throughout the series, but he'd be like, they're not Cersei. And that would drive me insane. And then, after the closure episode, they had the episode called Lions and Lambs. And that's, like, Lions and Lambs. It's, like, my favorite episode. That's when they introduced that with a machine that Van Kleist built, Breach could not only open portals in space, she could open portals in time. And that's when it kind of shows you the full scale of her mental state and the abuse that she goes through with Van Clyse. It's a bad thing to see, but you kind of see it, and that's where like Rex is just like, well, I kind of think she still has a thing for me, so let me talk to her, and everyone's just like working it on the crazy chick. But then he sees how Van Clyse treats her, and he sees like the level of trust. Like she literally through the episode she sends them to like all sorts of different places, and even there are places in between space and time and stuff like that. And they're beautiful, beautiful scenes. Some of my favorite scenes in the series. And he starts to understand, like, she doesn't even know what's real and what's not real anymore. And that's why she says that it's okay the way that Van Clyse abuses her, because it's not real. And then he tells her, it's real. I'm here for you. And he, like, at the point, it gradually goes from them trying to get her on their side to he just wants to make sure she's safe. And it even goes to the point where, like, Breach is allowing herself, even after White Knight, which is the leader of Providence, messes everything up and says, and like attacks her and stuff like that, and Van Clyse comes to the rescue. And it's to the point where, like, Van Clyse rigged the time machine, that if she sent him away, that it would overload. And, well, there was a chance where, like, it was overloading because she did send him away because she wanted Rex to be safe, because that's always what she wanted. Like, even from the beginning, even though it was, like, an episode where she was batshit crazy and you didn't like her, that was always what she wanted from the beginning, is that she liked Rex. And, like, even, like, there were times where she gave attitude and stuff when Rex would talk to Cersei, or when they would be on the same side, where she'd be mad and stuff like that. But it was really because he always came for her when Breach was the one who wanted to be saved. And, like, I guess she didn't even, like, notice it at first, because, like, she would get upset at these times where he was just like, Cersei! And Breach is creepy, and shit like that, and he was like, she's evil, but, like, Breach was the one who wanted to be saved more than anything. And, like, at the end of that episode of Lions and Lambs, with the time travel, is that he could have left her. He could have left, like, it's, like, open, like, a time sphere, and, like, she hugs him, and she says, I don't know if any of this is real or not, but I'm glad I had a friend at the end. And he just kind of understood. And he was just like, yeah. And then she was gone. And they were both gone. And the next thing he wakes up in a desert. And it's like 6 months later. Because, like, they time traveled. And so everyone, and, like, there's lots of changes and stuff like that. But there is a thing later when they're looking for Van Clyse, because he apparently showed back up. And they were trying to track him. That, he was being chased through time by something, and it was like some kind of energy that was chasing him. And it had been known earlier on that because of his nanites, and because he has such a connection to nanites that he can cure people by removing their nanites, that whenever Breach opened a portal, he would get a sensation. And so when that time demon was chasing Van Clyse, he got that sensation. He was like, that's no monster. I know who that is. And like, he reached into, like, the glowing light that was that time demon, and used his nanites and pulled Breach out of it. And the first thing she says is, Rex, is this real? And he's just like, it's real. I'm here for you. And, like, they never went any further with that, because they closed off with the season. And, like, I understand it's a nice finale, but they left it in a way because there are so many psychos and, like, super scientists and stuff like that, that you're like, oh, you know this could continue. They could do a second series. They could pull a Ben 10 and do another series. And it was just stuff like that. Like, I know, my rant was very, very central. And, like, I was like, okay, Breach is his new love interest. And then I was like, where'd they go? Where's the rest of the series? There should be more. Where's the next part? Like, you did this with Ben 10. You can't do this now. Like, come on. And it was frustrating because, like, look, I love Ben 10. Like, I love Ben 10. Love that series. Like, I love everything that's creepy and scary about it. Like, that's why I like Generator Rex so much. Like, there's an episode in, like, the final season called Scarecrow, and it's about, like, it is, like, one of the freakiest episodes, other than Breach's first introduction episode, because, like, all of the weird shit that she keeps in her pocket dimension is just weird and freaky, and it's like a horror video game. And it's like, no, 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 I don't want to be here. And you can feel for Rex when he's just like, can someone please come save me? I don't want to be here. And, like, there are episodes like that. You're just like, no. No, no, no. No. And, like, I thought that was kind of a wonderful thing. And I was like, why don't they continue off that? But they didn't. And then now here we are with another Ben 10 reboot. And this has been driving me insane for a while. And, like, the characters are great. Even White Knight with his Evo-hating ways turned into like the fun uncle by the end of the season because he had bonded with, by the end of the series because he had bonded with Rex. The villains are wonderful. Like, they'll show up and you're like, they're not going to show up again. I mean, they're probably just a one-time villain. Like, the villain Gatlock, who's one of my favorites because he just does whatever he wants. He's like a thief. He's a bandit. Both of his arms are artificial. So, like, Rex literally, like, fucking breaks both of his artificial arms, and he's just standing there like, I don't know what to do now. Thanks. But he was, like, all over Rex, like, hugs, friends, let's be friends, let's rob people together. And he's just like, no. And he's just like, well, that's not nice. He's the bad guy, but he's just like, points a laser at him. He's just like, give me a reason. I don't need a reason. And he just like shoots at him for like no reason. And he was just a good bad guy. And then there was like someone like Hunter Kane, actually voiced by John Cena, which I will never let go of. He was his wife was an Evo, and she attacked him. She turned into an Evo. She attacked him, and he was a former Marine, and he just killed her and started an Evo killing movement. We have the Second Amendment rights to bear arms, so we should be able to defend ourselves against this threat. Providence isn't doing anything, and like stuff like that. And he was a reoccurring villain. And then there is Quarry, who is voiced by Mark Hamill, who is an Evo who was like controls Hong Kong, and like Rex worked for him at one point before he lost his memory. It's such a broad spectrum. There's so many different types of villains, different types of stories that you can look at, and you can just say, this is a beautiful thing to look at, and this like gets me wondering. I'm like, how is this going to be handled? And then it's like the stuff that, it's something that you see things and you have questions, and there's some things that you don't even question that you could turn around, just like in Ben 10. And be like the original, like in Ben 10, the original time travel episode where Ben sees his future self, and his future self is fighting future Kevin, and future Kevin's a villain, and still a villain. He was just like, wow, we're always fighting, we'll even be fighting in the future. This sucks. And then they brought that shit back around for the final season of Omniverse, with the Rooters and stuff like that, and you're like, the Rooters uniform looks oddly familiar. And then in the fight between Kevin and Ben, like, Kevin gets, like, a scar on his chin, and I was like, no. It's the same scar he has in the original episode, the original time travel episode that shows the older him, and he has the long hair. And I was like, no, this is not something that was meant to come back. And then he is just like, I'm just kidding, I'm a good guy. Fooled you all, destroyed you. From the inside out, Ben's my best friend. Fuck you guys. And, like, that's the kind of thing that I would look forward to if they made a sequel. Because there are villains like Dr. Noah and stuff like that, who is supercharging people's nanites to turn them into crazy Evos so that he could drain them for free and drain them for a profit and shit like that. It was just unbelievable stuff, and it was just, as far as series go, a lot of the times, a lot of things go unnoticed. And, like, I know I've been talking about it for a while, and I just wanted to say that this is one of those series. If you ever get the chance, watch it. I know you'll love it. It is, if you like creepy things, if you like sci-fi, if you like humor, if you like Voltron, you'll like it. It's a lot of things, and I can say it's honestly one of my favorite series. And that's where I'm going to end this rant. I know I talked a lot, I kind of rambled a bit, but it's been a while since I've done a rant, and I thought I wanted to give you an opinion on something that's been frustrating me a lot lately, and that's it. Now, if you like this video, go ahead and like, and if you want to see more, go ahead and subscribe. If you have some show or anything you want to hear me show, comic, TV, anime, something you want to hear me rant about, comments, put it in the comments, and maybe I will possibly prepare a rant in the future for it. We're going to be doing these bi-weekly, so expect it. This one's coming out today. There's going to be another one coming out Sunday, and we will definitely go from there. If you, I had other things that I was going to say, but I don't know what they were. Though, I am a novelist. If you are interested in purchasing my book, it is available on Amazon. I will definitely put it in. It is a action adventure with fantasy and stuff like that. This is a copy of it. I will eventually be getting a fancier cover, but this is just the first version that I share it with all of y'all. It is 579 pages. It's the story of a girl from modern day who's stuck in a medieval world, but everyone thinks she's this hero who's supposed to save the world. It's got humor, it's got dark parts, but it is definitely rated for teenagers. There are some racy parts in here that I would not recommend. Some guy's head gets cleaved off, and there is some risky situations for the main heroine. So, if you guys, and that should be it. So, thank you so much for watching, and this is your fearless leader, Rio, signing off.